cannot see it. Right? The spiritual roadmap that will guide us into God's presence. Sometimes so, with the title we are considering that if there is no map, we will be lost. We will be going astray and we will be lost. So we need the importance of a map to guide us where? Into the presence of God. Where and how will you do it? Going into the presence of the Lord. So you will be lost. You will be lost if there's no road map. So the importance of having a road map to guide us into the presence of the Lord. This morning, question, are you in the presence of the Lord? If we are not conscious that we are in the presence of the Lord, we do like that. So this is a service, a spiritual service where we usher ourselves into the presence of God. And he who considers and recognizes and honors the Lord, God will honor him. We are in the presence of the Lord, and in the Old Testament times, they need a roadmap to guide them, bringing them into the presence of the Lord. But now in the New Testament, whenever we are gathered, one or two are gathered in His name, God is in the midst, and we are being ushered into the presence of the Lord. And so in His presence, there is fullness of joy. There are blessings in the left and in the right, if you pay attention. However, if you are weak and tired, as many of you have been showing, you don't know what are you doing with your night. Too busy and full of schedules that make you bored. But we are praying that whenever we are in the presence of the Lord, that we could get that blessings, and we could feel that joy, and we could focus on Him and get something from the Lord as we are given the opportunity to be blessed spiritually, and we use this spiritual roadmap into the presence of the Lord. Do you like that? Morning. Do you like that? To be in the presence of the Lord. So this could be the theme for this month, all the way through. We are given that map, that road. We will recognize it. There are roads, many roads. Kamo sa mapa yung mga roads kaya nag-cross. And you will be not able to distinguish which one is the best. Which road will lead me through completely and arrive to my destination in the presence of the Lord. There will be road that will confuse you, and maybe there will be a road that you will choose because it is cemented and smooth, but the end is the end of destruction. Don't judge the time of the road. Many a times the road, spiritual road map going to the presence of the Lord are not smooth. They may be rough. They may be full of thorns and too hilly and slippery. But with God, who is strong, able to guide us, we will overcome and able to be ushered into the presence of the Lord. Are you in the road? In the road where you will be disturbed? It will lead you up into the presence of the Lord. And so, this morning, we will into the service of the good Samaritan man. And this kind of service that Queen Esther had offered his life. Later on we will consider that the verse of this Thursday meeting is the introduction of the life of Queen Esther as he was used by the Lord to save her own people, the Jewish nation, the Jewish people. Now, maybe some of you later on will think that this is just a myth. The story of Queen Esther is only a myth. No. If you consider deeply and study the places mentioned here, we will see that this is a true story in the history. So that's why in the map here we can see that this, in the scripture reading we have read, there is that map in the place called Susa, S-U-S-A. This is now the modern Iraq in the Middle East. And this story had happened through in the life of the Jewish people. And here now is Iraq, which is actually the modern in the modern nation, country now in the Middle East. Okay, first of all, let's read again the verses in verse 1 to 12. In verse 1 it says, this is what happened during the time when King Xerxes, okay, we will be, since this is a series of studies, we will get familiarized with the name of persons involved in it. We have Queen Esther, and we are introduced into the king. King Ahasuerus, actually Ahasuerus is a title, just like Tsar, just like the president. But his name is Xerxes, King Xerxes. This is what happened during the time when Xerxes was king. Xerxes ruled over 127 provinces. So this is true. From India to Ethiopia, black people. From India to Ethiopia. 127 provinces in the capital city of Susa. Verse 2. In the third year, during the third year of the reign of King Xerxes, he gave a party for his officers and leaders, the army leaders, and important leaders from all Persia and Media were there. The party continued for 180 days. So you think of the party that lasts for 180 days. Meaning they are so rich and able to supply the food for 180 days. That means 3 months. 3 months. A long party. And during this time, King Xerxes was showing a great wealth of his kingdom and the majestic beauty and wealth of his palace. So this party, its purpose is to show off the wealth and the majesty of the palace of the king, their ability, their wealth. In verse 5, and when the 180 days were over, King Xerxes gave another party that continued for 7 days. It was built inside the garden in the palace. And all the people who were in the capital of Susa were invited, from the most important and the least important. They were invited. Verse 6, the inside garden had white and blue hangings. Usually they have curtains, banners hanging in the palace. They were filled in place with cords of white, linen, and purple materials on silver rings and marble pillars. They were boxes made of gold and silver. They were sittings in mosaic pavement made of porphyry, marble stones, and other expensive stones. Verse 7. Wine did serve in the golden cups. Their cups are made of gold. Different. There were plenty of king's wine. Ang wine ng king, they are expensive and they are special. In verse 8, the king had given a command to the servant. He told them that its grape must be, its guest must be given much wine as he wanted, and the wine server obeyed the king. Verse 10. On the seventh day, the party in Xerxes was in high spirit. 6 days. On the seventh day, the king has been used to drinking wine, but in the seventh day he was strong, but maybe he has been so drunk that he gave orders to his command. On the seventh, eunuch to serve him. The eunuch were Nehemiah, Bisa, Aguna, Bigba, Bakda, Sitar, and Harkas. He commanded them to bring Queen Vashti to him wearing the royal crown. She was to come so that she could show the beauty of to the leaders and the important people. She was very beautiful. So the king really was so drunk at the idea that not only he will show off the wealth of his country, he wants also to show off the beauty of his wife, the queen, Vashti. So he gave order that the queen will come and show herself wearing a beautiful gown. But in verse 12, what's the reason? This is also included in the road map. In the map that God has made for his people to be absent in his presence, the disobedience and the acts of other people are included. God overrode in their action. So in verse 11, when the king ordered in his drunkenness to show off the beauty of the queen, however, the queen disobeyed. Does it like the idea that she will be showing off herself to the guests who had come to join the party? So in verse 12, but when the eunuch told Queen Vashti about the king's command, she refused to come. Then, because of this, the king was angry. And even the anger of the king has been used to pave the way for the roadmap going into God's presence. We have lessons on doctrine of the Lord and lessons that even wife who are under authority must obey. Otherwise, even that God will use that action. Hindi ko matandap sa inyo ba? Show that you are strong. I heard that in Muslim countries, when they do bad, as we have heard many in the killings, the wife say, if you will not obey me, you will not get inside the mosquito net, the bed, get out. So the husband obey. So in the disobedience of the wife here, is one of the instrument that God used to pave the way into His presence for His own people. Okay? So in our introduction, in our intro, in the Bible, this is Bible quiz. In the Bible, we had two. How many? Two women, right? In the Bible, While Ruth,
Baliktad sila.
Ruth is the story of the Gentile who married a Jew. You remember that? Ruth was a Gentile who married a Jew. On the other end, Esther, Queen Esther, is the story of a Jewish woman who married, opposite, a Gentile. Ruth, a Gentile married a Jewish man. Esther, a Jewish woman, married a Gentile king. Okay? So, here we are. Which is Esther? Asa sister? Asa yung sister?
Kere.
Esther, queen. Dressed queenly. Here is Ruth,
Servant.
a poor woman. She has to glean from the rice field and the big time.
Gwapa niya.
So, two women in the Bible, their names is in the Bible. In the story of Queen Esther, we have here a strange story. Why strange? Why? If you read the book of Esther, we can find out that this is a strange story because number one, what makes it strange? It's strange, almost different from other books because this is the only book that God's name is not mentioned, is not written. There is no name of God in this book. This is the people who were so disobedient that they don't even use the name of God as they have disobeyed the Lord. So, in this book there is no divine title, even a pronoun to connect to the Lord, referring to God. Esther as a book records the Israelites in their self-chosen pathway. Ito natin kanina, spiritual roadmap. Right? The spiritual roadmap should be from God. But here in the book of Esther, this is a roadmap chosen by the Jewish people who rebelled against God. Right. Students are hard. So, the story of Esther tells about the Jewish people who made their own self-chosen road. God may have given them a spiritual roadmap to lead them to the presence of the Lord, but these Jewish people disobeyed and rather choose. This is a self-made road. Many of us made our self-made road. Many people in the world made a self-made road going to God. Naapa na, self-made saint, church-made saint. It should be God who decides, not man. And so, opportunity has been given to these Jewish people to return back, to go back to the promised land, to Jerusalem, but they disobeyed. Rather, they choose to stay. And because they stay, they will experience too much trouble that leaves them almost the end of themselves, almost die. Almost a nation to be annihilated because they disobeyed God and they choose self-choosing road. So, what's the lesson? Every time we disregard, we neglect, we don't follow we don't choose the road of God, the end is trouble, full of trouble. But if we take the road given by the Lord, that road may be hard, but the end result, we will experience the blessings and the guidance and the provision of the Lord. And so, here in this story, we will notice that there are groups, there are what called remnants. The Jewish people had already returned home. There was God's provision for them that even the Jews to go home. They go home to their own place, Jerusalem. But when the order was made, some Jewish people rather choose to stay. Others who are loyal to their God and loyal to the Jewish nation, they went home. They were led by Ezra the priest, and Nehemiah, king's cupbearer. There were two leaders who lead the Jewish people to go back to Jerusalem. They have to build the walls to protect them. So those who have returned home were guided by the priest and Nehemiah. But, however, those Jewish people who loves to stay in the luxury of the kingdom in this palace of Susa, they wanted to stay and enjoy the pleasure of the world. And so, Romans 8:28, even though you disobey, even though you won't obey and follow, however, Romans 8:28, all that thing that you have disobeyed, God will use. Romans 8:28, for we know that all things work together for good to them that love God. Even though you disobey, God still loves you, and your disobedience will be used by the Lord. He will overcome that. He will use that to bring God's purposes, and this will continue to happen. However, Esther gives us the story. If Ezra and Nehemiah tells us the story of the Jewish people who were obedient, here are the people who disobeyed. These are recorded in the book of Esther. Disobedient to the people next day. And so the records are clearly set in the book of Esther. Esther gives us the story of those who did not return, but who rather choose prosperity and luxury in the country of Persia. Okay, next. You know what happened? Because they choose to stay in the story of Esther, almost all the Jewish people, included those Jewish people who have gone home to Jerusalem, should have died, should have been annihilated by the order of a powerful king who doesn't know because his reign was sealed. There was a man, I'm mentioning that he is representing Satan. So this could be interpreted spiritually. Queen Esther is you and me. The king is God. His uncle Mordecai is the spirit that tells him what to do. But Haman, the second powerful man in king of Persia, is the Satan that orders the killing of God's people. And you know what happened? In conclusion, the story of the life of Esther, he offers herself so that the Jewish people will be saved. And as a leader, he made a great statement, and that is found in the 8th verse of this book. That makes sense. Okay. The picture tells us that even though this time Queen Esther was already chosen and he has to be taking the place of the disobedient Queen Vashti, yet, remember this, yet, even though you are a queen, you don't have a power to, at any time of the day, you can enter the palace and see the king. No, there is a law. If you are not called by the king and you will come into the king, into the palace, you will be killed. However, there is an important, very important issue. Queen Esther said, because his uncle Mordecai told her, there was now a law that has been seen and it is now spread. All the Jewish people will be killed. And so, you, Queen Esther, in this right time, chosen right time, you are there for a purpose. So, each one of us are here for a purpose. It is not accidental. It is with purpose. And in the same way, when Queen Esther was chosen to be queen, in a replacement to the old Queen Vashti, God has a purpose for that. Romans 8:3. And so he was, ang Holy Mordecai is the Holy Spirit that challenged him, touched her heart to decide something for the Lord. He said, if I perish, I will perish. Later on we will consider the 5th verse. But in this picture, Queen Esther is offering herself as a leader. If I die, I die. But the purpose will be served that I would help my people and will take the opportunity of meeting the king to tell him of the important news. Okay, next. Later on, this will be later on in our skip, there will be women who will be dressed in their beautiful dress, show off themselves to the king, so that the king will choose a replacement for the king. Next. Now, go back to the story that the people who stayed in the kingdom of Persia were the people, Jewish people. Though God loved them, yet they were disobedient people. The obedient Jewish people who really got to Jerusalem. Yet there were groups of Jewish people who stayed, but they went out of the will of God. And however, Romans 8:28, we will know that they are not beyond God's care. Okay? Now remember this is a doctrine in the Bible. If you are a child of God, you are the son of God, if you disobey, you may be out of God's will, but you are not beyond God's care. You cannot get out from Him. You may disobey and get out of the will of God, yet the place where you are in, you are not beyond the care of the Lord. How is this true? In Deuteronomy 31:18 it says, explains the reason why God's name does not appear in the book of Esther. God's face is hidden. If you read the book of Esther, there is no mention of God. There is no shadow of God in there. Yet, we will see that even though they have not prayed, they were not dependent upon the Lord. However, the Jewish people were so important in that. Later on, the story of the book of Esther is so important that they are being put side by side with the 5 books of Moses. And the enemy of the Jews, the Jewish people, hate the book of Esther. To them it is a prophecy. To them it is a strong message that no matter what they will do to the Jewish people, God will save His own people. No matter the Jewish people disobey, God's power is shown in the book of Queen Esther, and the enemy of the Jewish people are afraid. They hate the book of Esther. It is a prophecy. It is a telling us the power of God to save His own people. So they are fearing the book of Esther. Any Jewish people who read the book of Esther are strengthened. Any enemy of the Jewish people are feared because of what had happened in the story of the book of Esther. Now it is to the Jewish people, to the Jewish mind, we give much importance